afternoon. It is a actually kind of nice Monday afternoon. Jeff Raspe here. I've got Angus and Julia Stone all the way from Australia here. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Well, thanks.
Thank you for being here. You guys are out on the road at least a little bit with John Butler Trio, your fellow countrymen.
Yes.
And who else is that? State Radio is on the bill, too. You're going to be up in Central Park tomorrow. That's a very cool space. But I guess the first thing that I have to ask you, since you're here, your tour manager, Joe, is a Jersey guy.
Yes.
How tough is he on you? Is he tough to work with?
Tough as nails. No, he's a great guy. You know, he gets the job done and he looks after us all very well. And he's a super dude.
If you ever need someone to slip in on bass at any point, he's the man. If you haven't heard yet.
Well, today Julia was playing a track at a friend's studio. Your friend's
over at Retro Media Sound Studios. Yeah.
That was great. And Joe, actually, we were doing a sort of country song, and Joe had mentioned that he played double bass, and I was like, "Where's your double bass?" And he said, "Oh, it's back at the house. It's 10 minutes away. I'll go get it." And I was like, "Okay." And he went off, and he came back in, and like one take through, played just the most riffing kind of old school bass line. It was really amazing. Now we can fire our bass player. Our bass player is amazing. But yeah, it's very exciting to have the sound of double bass. So
what was this thing you were over at Retro Media for today?
Well, there's an Australian film that is coming out. It's called The Waiting City, and a song I wrote a couple of years ago was on the soundtrack for that. And anyway, I just recently saw the preview of the film. It's been mastered and everything. And at the end of the film, there's the actor, an Australian guy. He sings at the end of the film, and he's got a beautiful voice. And I thought, I was talking to the producer, and he said, if you want to put any more songs on the soundtrack, which will come out, then feel free. And I said, well, I'd love to do a duet with Joel, and he said, oh, okay. So he kind of hooked us up, and when we were in Toronto, he's shooting a film up there. We sort of met up and sang a song together. So
oh, wow.
It was to kind of just to do a duet. Angus sang his part today, and he'll re-record that tonight in New York.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it should be fun. It's a beautiful film. It's all shot in India, in Calcutta. So it's very colourful, and it's sort of about a couple that they can't get pregnant, and so they go to India to adopt a child, and it's sort of about the kind of chaos of that process.
Oh, trying to do that.
And finding each other within that chaos. It's
wow.
Really pretty.
Angus and Julia Stone are here in the studio with me this afternoon. Tomorrow, they've got a really big show up at Central Park Summer Stage, along with the John Butler Trio and State Radio, and actually a couple of our staff members will be up there among the massive people.
Cool.
Now, you guys are actually, what were you set up to play first? I see Julia has the guitar first.
We were going to play a song called And the Boys.
Excellent.
Okay.
Cool, thanks. Here's Angus and Julia Stone on 90.5 The Night.
It's been days now, and you change your mind again. It feels like years, and I can tell how time can bend your ideas. And the boys go on and on and on and on. And the boys go on, they go on, they go on, they go on. And there's gold falling from the ceiling of this world, falling from the heartbeat of this girl, falling from the things we should have learned, falling from the things we could have heard. Well, it's been days now, and you change your mind again. All the cracks in the walls keep you in this heart of mine. And the boys go on and on and on and on. And the boys go on and on and on and on. And there's gold falling from the ceiling of this world, falling from the heartbeat of this girl, falling from the things we should have learned, falling from the things we could have heard. And the boys, 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 and the boys go on and on. And the boys go on and on and on and on. And the boys go on and on and on and on and on.
Hey, Zachary.
Ready?
You looking good? Great hit.
The odds of a child becoming a professional athlete are 1 in 16,000. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 166. The odds say it's time to listen. To learn the signs of autism, visit autismspeaks.org.
Very much. Angus and Julia Stone here on 90.5 The Night. You guys are brother and sister, which is not a secret. And I've said this before to siblings who have had playing and singing right in front of me, actually, where you guys are, that there is something in the genes of the way siblings and parents and children can sing together that you really can't get, for the most part, with any other combination of people. But speaking of genes, your parents were actually both musicians, right?
Yeah, they used to do a duet together. And mum and dad, they always used to sing around the house. Or, mum, when she's walking through the shopping centre, she'd be singing out loud. And dad was our band conductor at school. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my music teacher in high school. And he plays in a band still. He played in a band when we were growing up, going to sleep, hearing the bass thumping against the wall. We had a big bunch of that growing up.
Oh, that's cool. They may not have pushed you into this, but they're certainly understanding and supportive of what you're doing, of, leaving home, literally going to the other side of the world for weeks or months at a time. And
Yeah, they're really, I mean, they would say that they always knew that we would play music. I think that they were good. I mean, they never put music as like the be all and end all. They got a lot of joy from it, and I think as a family it was something that brought everybody together, and so it felt like growing up it was a really natural progression to start writing music and expressing ourselves in that way. It felt like easy to communicate with people like that. It's a challenge sometimes to really say what you're feeling with what feels like a limited language, and it's not. I know I'm not trying to put down the English language in any way, but it's certainly some words, they get lost along the way. Yeah. And for instance, a word like love, it has so many different expressions within that one word, and there's only one word for it. And
yeah.
I find that with a melody and with a rhythm and with a sound, you can express it in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's easier to get a point, get the point that you want to get across. Yet at the same time, if you're just talking to somebody, the way you say it or the whatever phrase you say kind of is interpreted one way. Mm-hmm. When you sing it in a song, it leaves interpretation completely open.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of music. And you guys are actually going to sort of switch places, and now Angus is going to play and sing one from the new album, Down the Way, which is just out here in America on Network Records. Angus and Julia Stone here on 90.5 The Night.
She said, "Hello, mister, pleased to meet you. I wanna hold her, I wanna kiss her. She smelled the daisies, she smelled the daisies. She drive me crazy, she drive me crazy. Gonna take her for a ride on a big jet plane. Gonna take her for a ride on a big jet plane. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey, my lover, my lady river. Can I take you higher? Gonna take her for a ride on a big jet plane. Gonna take her for a ride on a big jet plane. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
Family and friends can provide the support you need to reduce your risk of cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Eat right and get active.
Down the Way, speaking of visuals that you can't see on radio, except for right there, is called Down the Way. And are the photos throughout the artwork, are they actual Stone family photos?
Yeah, it's photos of our grandparents growing up in a town called Nimbin on the east coast of Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, I just love them. There's so much poetry, and back then, when you had a camera, you wrote about it after next to the photo, which was special. I mean, now it's kind of like you have a digital camera, and there's no possible way to see them all. They tie into the music, I think, very well. It's kind of the story is almost within the shot.
When we put the artwork together, I mean, we had Granny and Grandpa's album out on the table, and Angus and I went through all these photos, and I mean, they had albums and albums of amazing shots. It was very difficult in a way.
Are they still around?
Yeah, they are. They are.
How do they feel about their photos being in an album?
I think the only person that's slightly disappointed is Granny, because there weren't as many shots of her as of Grandpa. So she was like, another one of Grandpa, another one of Grandpa. But yeah, they're really, really proud to be involved, and I think it means a lot to us as well that that photos that have come from our history, can tie in with something that's happening right now for us.
And I did have one question for you guys, since you are brother and sister and you basically spend every waking moment together, especially when you're on tour. How do you not kill each other? We do try and give each other space and sort of be respectful of the need to have space. And it's hard because you do get really... I'm so used to having Angus around, and I love having him around. And so when I think, I've got, 2 hours, we're going to go have some dinner, I want Angus to come with me, And then the way you've been trading off lead vocals and guitar here in front of me has brought up the question, are the songs on the album completely dealt with separately? Do you ever write together, or is it always a Julia song or an Angus song?
Well, we wrote for a film recently together, but this album, we write separately and we come together and sort of piece it together with harmonies and the band, and but for this film we did recently, it was pretty interesting, sort of going through the process of finding lyrics and where they came from and what they meant, and how we do, how we'd structure it, and which makes it, interesting.
Which makes it interesting as a collaboration.
Yeah. It ended up having to be a sort of like, all right, I tell you what, you write the second verse, I'll write the first verse. Like, let's just, because so
even within the same song, there's some separation of duties. Yeah.
I don't know how else it can be. I mean, Angus and I have talked about this before, and we really enjoy collaborating with other artists and with each other, but in the process after the song's been written. I like adding
by
in
one
harmonies.
of you. Yeah.
I like adding in musical ideas. I like even helping, with Angus's song in production ideas or whatever, but the actual writing of a song is a very personal experience, and it is difficult to sort of be coming from the same place and be like, all right, we're going to unite and write a song.
Right. Even being brother and sister, where you'd think most of your life you were in the same place. But
within...
But not really, because Angus certainly doesn't know what it's like to grow up as a little girl, and at least I don't think so.
Well,
and vice versa,
This is Ted.
Hey, Pete.
This is his wife, Ann. Ted just turned 50. He now has a much higher risk of getting colon cancer. Ann wants him to visit his doctor to get checked, like she did. She won't get off Ted's back until he does.
Very nice people. We want to make
You
sure
go,
that we
Ann.
have that 30%.
If you're 50 or older, talk to your doctor about getting tested for colon cancer. For a free information kit, call 800-ACS-2345. This is the American Cancer Society.
Julia Stone here. They're going to play one more live for us, and then I think we're going to come back with one last bit of conversation, and then I'll play something else from the album Down the Way. So here's one more from Angus and Julia live on 90.5 The Night.
my Santa Monica dream. 15 kids in the backyard drinking wine. You tell me stories of the sea and the ones we left behind. Goodbye to the roses on your street. Goodbye to the paintings on the wall. Goodbye to the children we'll never meet. And the ones we left behind. We left behind. I'm somewhere, you're somewhere. I'm nowhere, you're nowhere. You're somewhere, you're somewhere. But I don't. Rob's in the kitchen making pizza. Somewhere down in Battery Park. And I'm singing songs about the future. Wondering where you are. And I could call you on the telephone. But do I really want to know? You're making love now to the lady down the road. No, I don't wanna know. I'm somewhere, you're somewhere. I'm nowhere, you're nowhere. You're somewhere, you're somewhere. I could go there, but I don't. Goodbye, my Santa Monica dream. 15 kids in the backyard drinking wine. You tell me stories of the sea. And the ones we left behind. And the ones we left behind.
Excellent. Another beautiful song from the new album Down the Way from Angus and Julia Stone. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for taking some time and coming over to visit us and hanging out with us for a bit.